Hi there, this is Danny with Anytime Country Living, and in this video I am out working on getting some solar panels up on my roof here. So they have been down on the ground and I've been trying to make use of them, but I kind of made a temporary wooden structure for them, and it wasn't big enough for all 12 of them, so I'm having to rebuild it, but it's also getting a lot of shade from the roof line since it's leaning up against the house. So let me show you what I'm doing here. So I'll take you over here and show you what my current solar panel setup is. So they got 10 solar panels up here right now. I have 2 more in the house, and I just miscalculated or was trying to just get this up fast. I do have it set up to be working on a hot day. I can keep the voltage, they're all in series right now, keep the voltage down below 100, which I need to keep it for my charge controller. But on a when it gets cold out again, then it gets over 100, and then my charge controller can't handle it, so I got to do 2 banks of 6 each, something like that, or 4 banks of 3. So anyway, I have the right adapters for it. I just needed to get it up on the roof, so I'm going to put it up there on the peak is the plan here. And I was thinking, well, I just need to make it out of wood, but I didn't really want to make it out of regular wood like it is right now, and so I need to use pressure treated. So I was like, well, that's going to be expensive. So I went out to my shed and I found some of the aluminum angle brackets, 8 foot long, that I had previously purchased for the project. So it's like, well, maybe I can just make it out of metal. Certainly that would make it a lot, I don't know about stronger, but definitely make it more weather resistant. So anyway, I'm going to give that a try here. So I got 4. They're 8 foot long, I think. I'm not sure what they, like 1.25 inches, I think, is how wide they are. It's not real thick metal, but let's see here, 1 inch, 1/16 thickness there, angle bracket. So I got 4 of those. I'm not sure I'm actually going to use them or not. Then I realized that it's like, well, what else do I have available around here? So I have this other metal, which is actually steel, painted steel, which I think will hold up still pretty good. So this is roofing material, or cut off stuff from our roof. That's why it's the same color as our roof. Anyway, so we got this, and I was like, well, that works. It's real strong, sturdy. It's got the seam in there, so it gives it rigidity. So anyway, and I was like, well, got quite a bit of it. I could probably make use of that. I'm trying to find some angle brackets. So I want to put some angle brackets over the top of the peak, and then have some weight on the back side, just kind of not actually bolt it down. And I don't know how much, if the wind is going to be a problem on that or not. I may get some high winds and might be a problem. So I was thinking, well, I could put the angle brackets, mount them onto some heavy metal that would hang on the other side there. Maybe put a piece in between or something like that, but put some weights or something like that on the far side there to weigh it down. And the solar panels are heavy themselves, so they'll probably produce a lot of weight as well. Anyway, I have no idea if it'll work or if it'll come crashing down, but that's the plan so far here. So I was going to work on that here. So anyway, that is the project for today, to see what I can get built here. Trying to decide if I want to use like sheet metal screws or some kind of bolt. Also, I was seeing these rivets, and I got a bunch of rivets, and so those might just work nicely, hold stuff together. I was thinking also the combination of aluminum and steel together probably isn't the best. Not terrible, for this application it's not going to be that critical, but if I can just do all steel, maybe that would be a better option here anyway. Let's see, I got aluminum brackets, so I guess that kind of throws that out the window. I'm trying to keep everything steel, so anyway, just trying to figure it out here. Thought I'd bring you guys along and show you kind of what I'm doing here. Alright, well, I am having second thoughts about using some kind of bracket and weighting system on the over the peak. I'm realizing that it's going to take some pretty hefty brackets, and if I can bend them to be the angle that's needed, the weight of the solar panel array, all the solar panels, might just unbend it. Or it just may slide off, and that wouldn't be any fun at all to pick that off the ground broken. So I am going to change directions here and just build a frame, and then I'm going to use some guy wires over the top and attach them to the over the peak and the far side. There's some gutter hangers that seem to be pretty solid, and I should be able to wind the wire around those, maybe even clamp it or something like that, keep it from unwinding or something like that. But I think I should be able to just twist it and get it enough strength to hold. But put maybe 2 or 3 of those up there over the top and attach that to the top of the solar panel array, and that should hold it. So, and that'll be a lot simpler anyway than trying to attach brackets and do all that weight stuff. And so it'd be simpler, less weight on the array, and be much more secure. So I'm going to give that a try. So I'm going to work on building the structure here, get it all cut and measured out, and start putting it together here. Okay, so some knee pads or something out here, hard on the knees. Okay, so I got my plan here, 144 inches wide, 3 strips of that, and then 83 inches tall, or just about 7 feet. So there's 9. Well, 12 feet's a lot. Okay, so there's 12, so I can get 2. Well, I do have a third one. So 144, yeah. And the other one here. This one's really long, so. So, I'm going to have it like this here. So this will be on the top, this angle bracket. So we can rivet it here and here. That'll keep it squarer. Not perfect, but it'll be much better than if it was just one. And then we can rivet it here and up there or something like that, or maybe put 3 rivets in there. Hold it. So 1.5 inches below, right there. Okay, so then it's about 41, so 42.5 should be kind of where the top of this bracket goes. Okay. The wrong way or something. Let's try this way. Oh yeah, you just gotta do it right. marking this at 7 foot. Probably will cut it just at 7 foot. So we need to find a drill bit that's just the right size. So let's see what we can find here. It's a 5/64, I think. Yeah. So that's gonna work. Yep, okay. That looks like it's the right size, so. Okay. Now I had a clamp here. Yep. This is going to be useful or not. Yeah, I think that should work. Wow. Certainly doesn't go through very easily. Alright, let's see if I got the hole right here. Okay. First round there. Pull again. Okay. Oops. Well, pop the washer off. Oh, come on here. Looks like it's detached. There we go. Okay. Just put it in there. Alright, well, got my first one in. Okay, so, alright, that works out well. Figure out how to maneuver this thing. This thing is a little bit annoying. I wonder if there's a way to lock that thing open. Yeah. Okay. It's good. Alright, I got all the pop rivets in, so I'm going to go and try to drag it over there. Look, it's a little floppy, but I think if I do the pull on the end, I think I can get it over to the roof and up there, and then I can hopefully get some rope on either end and pull it up there. So I just realized I don't even need a rope. See, God provides when you don't need anything. This is why I don't have rope, because I usually don't need it. Do it. here. Got it. Okay, so 26 feet I think should do it here. I got my spool of wire here. I think it's 12-pound wire, I think is what it is. Basically straightening the wire as we reel it here. Okay, got the right tool for the right job. Flexible tape maker. About the right amount here. Let's work. Okay. Your eyes went flying. Alright, well, it's getting very dark out here. 8:46 and sundown was at 8:30 or 8:24, so anyway, I'm gonna got my headlamp on and going to finish the job here best I can with the headlamp, but too dark really for the camera, so I'll show you tomorrow what it looks like. Alright, catch you guys in a little bit. Alright, so it's the next morning. I was able to get both guy wires up, at least two of them so far. I'm not quite sure if I'll do a third. I'll just kind of can always add it towards the end there if it looks like it's going to collapse in on itself or something like that. I need the extra support, but I think it might be alright with just two for now. So got that done last night, and a lot of animal noises out there, so I decided I think I'll just come in. Since I'm being out there with the headlamp and have any cougars jump over the fence to grab me. Anyway, probably fine, but a little unnerving around this countryside where there are cougars wandering through the woods around here. So anyway, haven't done any work on it too much this morning. So I went out and did a bunch of watering, got the sprinkler going out there in the garden, got the timer on that, and got the blackberries watered and a bunch of fruit trees. So I was happy to get that done. And so working on a diagram for my electrical connections here, trying to get, I remembered I'm not going to do 4 banks, I'm going to do 3. So I have a 3-to-1 adapter. I have 2 of those, positive and negative one. So I'm going to use those, which is fine. So it means 4 panels and another 4 and another 4, so that works out nicely. 12 is actually a good number. It's divisible by quite a few numbers. So 3, 4, and 6 is divisible by, so that's nice. Of course 2, but anyway, so yeah, I'm going to do 3 banks of 4 panels, and so I'm just working on clipboard here, getting it all figured out in my brain how best to run the cables, so I have 2 extra longer cables, like 10, 12 footers that can go from one end of the array to the other. But that's all I got, and I hate to go buy a bunch more if I don't need to. So it's just a matter of putting the panels in an orientation and in banks so that they're not running too far. And so let me show you what I got going here so far. Alright, so this is what I've got so far. I got my 6 panels. Alright, my 12 panels laid out, 6 on each line here. And so I got a negative and a positive, each with 3 terminals. And I got them flipped, the top row flipped upside down, so that the connections are real close together. That helps as well for drawing, so you don't have to draw all the way from one end to the other or something. You have so many lines that you can just have quick, small little lines. So I'm using Rich Solar's website here to try to get an idea of how to do the in series and in parallel. So 4 in series, and then 3 of those banks in parallel. Did I say that right? Yes. Okay, so let's take a look here. So then we can either do 4 here, these 4 together, these 4 together, and this 4 together. And then one of the leads off of here needs to go here. See, the problem is that that's a long ways. So I can either do these 4 together, and these 4, and these 4. That would be one option, but I don't think it's the best, because these 2 banks, that's a long run all the way back to this side. Interesting. I was just thinking maybe I don't want to do trying to think through. So this doesn't necessarily have to be here on this side. They could be out here in the middle. So maybe it won't be such an issue. Because they can be brought all the way. So let's see, we have a cable, just bring it out here. It might work. Let's see here. So then we want to have another line here. So somewhere in this area. And this is just a normal cable here. Okay, so then if we brought the cables to the center, we would have so positive to negative, positive to negative, positive to negative, and then we have a positive and negative lead that would go one here. Yeah, negative to negative. Okay, that works out well. And then positive goes there. Okay. And then the next batch, that's fairly easily dealt with. So the positive could go just straight down to there. And a little bit backwards on this one, but this one could be negative there, right? So then we go, so that one's plugged in there. So I know there's one cable coming off there, so if that goes directly, oh yeah, okay, so then we just do negative to positive there, negative to positive there, negative to positive there. Nope, 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 nope. That's wrong. And then, okay, so those 2 are connected. So it's between, yeah, between panels. So we got a connection there. Hook those 2 together. And then, yeah, okay, so that bank is now added. So we got 2 banks. Now the tricky part is this going to reach it? Well, if this was moved over, it shouldn't be, I may not need any extension cables at all if I can put it like right in this area here. I should have drawn it right there, but so that's negative. So it would be this, and make that cable reach. You can use the extension cable if needed, but I think we can make that reach. And then this is the positive, so then we'd have a run over to that one, and then we connect these 2, and these 2. Okay, so that should do the trick to get them all wired up correctly. The most difficult part is going to be installing them and getting those wires connected as we install them very carefully, because once I screw those down and those cables are out of reach, or I get 3 put in, these cables over here, how they're connected to each other, it's going to have to start pulling off panels in order to reach them again, or reach down underneath with my arm and lift it up slightly, but it's not going to be easy. So I got to make sure I get it right the first time as I'm putting those panels down. So that's the tricky part, but I think it's doable. Okay, so I got the diagram all ready to go. Now I want to see if I can put a tether together for my drill, so in case I don't have to like lay it down when I'm carrying the panels, and if it slips off my belt or something like that, it doesn't go sliding off the edge of the roof. So found had a bungee cord here with the little hooks on there, so I'm not sure, maybe I can just collapse those hooks so they're not in the way, snagging on stuff. I was trying to think of a good way to attach, have some carabiners, and trying to think of a good way to attach it, and I was thinking just a piece of wire, because that's actually what they did with the ends here. They just wired them up, and so I got some extra wire here. I'm going to try to make one here, so let's work on that here. So let me get the cutters and maybe some pliers and see what we can do to get the carabiners on there. Just the back there. Okay. Pretty tough wire, so it should be fine. Alright, so then one side here, this would be the bottom I want it on. So, I'm trying to think now. I probably want to do one side, not do it in the middle. So let's curl that around. Okay. Then okay, so let's then put that around there. Squish it a bit more. Okay. There we go. That works. Make it take too long here. Okay, so then we need another little chunk. There. Okay, good. So it attaches it nicely there. Well, let's give it a try here. Okay, so I think I want to go up there and sweep it off first, so it needs to be done, and just so I don't slip on anything up there, I'm going to get the broom up there, and then I want to get my wires, which are over here, my main wires. I got to get them up there so I can, then I got the little splitters here. I got my instructions, so let's work on that here. Alright, detour here, my timer went off for the garden sprinkler here, so let me go get that turned off. Or one sprinkler's turned off, and the other one turned back on there. Got 3 of them out there. In fact, I can do 2 at once. So I'll turn the other 2 on here. So this one goes off, and then, so I want the furthest one. This one goes on, and then this one. So get out of this way quick here. We got those 2. Got to back away real quick. He's out here to these bushes. So that's my sprinkler setup here. So I just have a 2-hour timer on my watch I set, and when that goes off I run out here and switch them, and then so basically just twice I have to set a timer and then shut them off. So let's get back to our project here. Alright, got it all swept off on this side here. Not sure if I want to just go for it on the other side right now. I may do that a little later. I want to get these panels up, but anyway, I got nice and clean up here. Could be used with a washing, but it's all right. And all that. This area over here is far enough away from the trees that it really doesn't even need to be swept over there, so that's nice. But I got all this lower area swept off nicely, so I can walk around here without worrying about stepping on, because the traction is the most important thing here. So if we step on some organic matter, needles and leaves or something, and I slide from that, that's not good. So I can always make sure I don't step on any piles. So nice to just have that out of the way here. So I got one panel clamped up here. I was just noticing we could actually hook the bottom brackets underneath the lower part to hook them up there, so maybe I don't need to clamp them initially until I'm ready to screw them down. So anyway, I'm going to see how the cables reach. Get this other main cable stretched out, and the connector ends in the middle there. So somewhere in the middle here should be able to do that. If I want to come up from the bottom or the top here. Let's try the bottom here. So, center is about here. So in each row I'm going to have 3 big panels and 3 little ones. Because I have two panels that I have monocrystalline, there's the smaller ones, and then a polycrystalline. Mono and polycrystalline panels here, and they're different sizes. So the height is the same, which is nice, but the width is different. So I measured it out, so I have 3 of one and 3 of the other, so they both end up the same width, total width on both lines there, so they're not crooked. Okay, so determined that I'm going to need some extension cords, but I have them. I only need like 3 feet maybe, but I got 10 footers, so that'll do. Over here, so I got about a 6-inch discrepancy. I need a 6-inch cable. Since I got these and have no other use for these, we'll just slide these guys over here, give them a shorter run. Then the other side, such as that one there, will be extended. So we got one that needs a positive and the other one that needs a negative. Like the top, I think the top needs a, okay, so the top one's negative, bottom one is positive. This panel here, the negative of that will hook up to one of the negatives here, and then there'll be 4 center panels, and they'll be able to reach, because all the connectors will be right here, so that shouldn't be a problem. So I think we're good. We don't have to buy anything more, which I love. Gonna have to learn to do the standing up here, so let's see how we can get the first one in here. Hey, look at there, works. Cool. All right, well, so that's success. Okay, that worked. Alright, so I got all the solar panels down, and so I just need to start carrying them up there and getting them installed. Okay, so these solar panels here have never been mounted before. I think they've been outside, but they have their brackets on here, so I got my box of brackets. So just noticing in these, they have self-tapping metal screws, but they're like 1.5 inches or something long, so I don't know what they're what 1.5 inch material it's wanting to go into, or 1.25 inch thick metal. That seems excessively long, so I don't know. But this has got the bolts and the nuts and the brackets for each one here. those, I'm going to need a wrench of some type. Let's see here. We got washers too. So something like that. I guess it could go either way, but I'm putting them up like this. Okay, so let's take a look here. So we got a lock washer. I'd say let's put that on first. And we have regular washers. Yeah, okay, we got a regular washer too. I don't know. I don't think it matters which side it goes on. Yeah, probably should get, let's see here. What are they? I'm guessing the nut and the bolt are the same. Yeah, okay, let me take a nut in there and see if I can find some end wrenches or something to... Got another 10 here. One I had bought separately before, and then the other one was from a kit. Much better. Okay. Okay, I got the brackets on, so I got to get the last 4 up there. Excited here. Let's see if I did it right. Well, that's pretty exciting to be able to get all 12 panels up here connected and screwed down. And it looks like the wires are holding nicely. I don't see any like flexing or like it's ready to fall or anything, so I think that was a good plan to anchor it down. And it's nice to be able to not have roof penetration, like screw it into the roof there. Oh, that is actually, maybe that's why, well, Not sure anybody would actually screw the solar panels directly to the roof. I was thinking if there was a metal roof, maybe that's why they're self-tapping and you'd screw into the wood beneath the rafters, but, or not the rafters, I guess, but the roof sheeting. I don't know. It sounds like it's just a bad idea to me. So I think this idea turned out really well for getting a structure that I can screw into, and it's just not going to cause any leaks in the roof, and easily removable and take downable if need be, or extendable too. So I can stick on create another panel. Not a panel, but I guess you could call it a panel. Frame for another set of panels over there or something like that. So anyway, excited here. Do well, and nice to have all 12 panels and a voltage. So it should be around 60 or 70 volts. Should be coming into my charge controller. Hopefully it'll stay below 100. I think that should be fine. You want a highest voltage as possible because that will decrease your amperage loss. Because that keeps the amperage low. And so I think they're like around 5 amps max or something like that they'll go. And so it would be 5 times 4 because they're in series. So that's around 25 or so. Anyway, or 23, 24. Anyway, so that's good. I think we'll do well. So we'll get this plugged into the charge controller and see if it works. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. The window, it'll pull it, keep it from sliding, I think. Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Goes back in there. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out which one is which. Let's go. That. Okay. Moves away a little bit. Printer power cord. Screw out that on top. Alright, so I got it all coiled up here, plugged into each other. So I have a bare wire to whatever the normal connectors are here, and then the connectors goes up on the roof. So that's all connected now. So I got the breaker on here. So this breaker on the right is for the battery to the charge controller, and then this is the one for solar panels. So that way I can, whoops, didn't need to be off. Disconnect the solar panels on there. So flip that up, see if it's okay or not here. Okay, let's see what we got here. So we got a voltage 72. No, it's dropping. 50. Oh, it's all over the place. So that's encouraging. Not that it's all over the place, but that we're getting a voltage, and it's what we would expect here. Okay, so 9.5 amps. Seems a little low, but batteries are 100% already, so I just don't need to charge it. 28 volts. It's a 24 volt system. So it's not charging the battery at all. So I don't want to run it on here too long because I don't have a load. Probably could, oh well, I could turn on the inverter here. That would put a load on it. So I have a really big breaker here. It's a 250 amp breaker for the batteries. It's connected up to the inverter. So that's just a little leg in the inverter there in the positive one. And then let's turn it on. Okay, so now you can see that the charge controller is putting a charge to the battery. So this is the solar panel to the battery section here. And so right now, got a little bit of sun out there, but it's a little bit overcast as well. So we're pushing 19 amps. Now, I did talk to Rich Solar and to get an idea of which voltage to multiply that times, and they said not to multiply it times the solar panel voltage. They said to do it times the battery voltage. Since this is a multi-power point charger, you have to go down to the, or go up to the voltage of the battery currently. And because the amperage that's here showing that it's charging the battery at, that's in relation to the battery rather than how much power is coming in from the solar panels or that they're producing, because as the batteries get full, this amperage will go down, indicating that it's it doesn't need much power, so it's kind of self-adjusting on there. There's my understanding. And if it can use all the power, it will use it here. So now we're up to 25 amps. So we go up. So we're at 26.9 volts right now. So we want to multiply that. So we do 26.8 times whatever our current amperage coming in is, around 21 right now. So times 21. And that gives us 562 watts. So not being in direct sun, we're not going to get the full wattage. And so unfortunately, 1200 watts doesn't bring in 1200 watts when you think you might want it. So you always want to have a lot more solar panels than you think you might need. So I wanted to explain how my solar system is set up in case you want to do something similar. I wanted to do something that was fairly straightforward and simplistic so that I wouldn't have a complex system that I didn't know how to work on, and they wanted to make sure the parts were not overly expensive as well. So I have, starting here with my batteries, I have 4 200 amp hour. These are lithium iron phosphate batteries. These are the Ampere Time variety, and so these, each one is 12 volts. So I have them in 2 banks right now. The bottom 2 and the top 2 are hooked together in series. When you hook something in series, that allows the voltage to double basically, or add up. You add the voltages together. So 12 and 12 would make it a 24 battery, and then the positive terminal on one and the negative terminal on the other become the 2 negative and positive for that little bank, as you could say, or 2 batteries together in series. And then I have the two sets. So I have these just basically the same idea as the solar panels, and these are in parallel. And so we get the negative and positive go down to the negative and positive of the top here. They go down to the bottom ones, and so we have like the positive terminal over there goes down to the positive terminal on the far bottom battery, and also, but I also have a lead off of that going into my breaker here. So I have a breaker that allows me to disconnect the battery in a safe way without any sparks or touching the wire, and seeing a spark like that. Breakers are meant to take the diminish or get rid of any kind of sparks when you disconnect and connect power. And so that's an important thing to have. So that's why I have a 250 amp breaker here, so that I can add batteries, but that's kind of the rating that was I guess recommended for this amount of batteries. So anyway, so we got that. But then the negative terminal on the bottom battery comes up to the negative terminal on my inverter. So those are hooked up directly there. But I also have hooked up to the bottom battery set, the two bottom batteries, so the far positive and the near negative. Those are also being hooked up to my charge controller. Okay, so that's the two thicker wires here are for the charge controller. The two thinner ones over here are the positive and negative for the solar panels. So you only need one breaker per set there. So have it on the positive here. Positive, there's a short lead that goes into the breaker and then out over into the positive terminal on the bottom batteries. Okay, so just one of them. And then the negative terminal off here just goes to the negative terminal on the other battery on the bottom there. Okay, so there's three wires on the bottom set. All right, you could also put them on the top set. As far as the charge controller could have gone on there, so you only have two on the top and two on the bottom. However you want to do it, it didn't matter to put them all together. So it works either way. So these. So it's recommended to have a breaker. This is a 40 amp breakers or two 40 amp breakers for both. So on the solar panels they specifically say don't connect and disconnect with a load, and so the only way to do that is to have a breaker. Disconnect the solar panels from the charge controller that takes the load off of them, and then you can safely connect and disconnect them. Okay. Let's see here, anything else that's interesting here. So then there's two AC battery terminals on the bottom here. So I have an extension cord going out from that, so then I can run extension cords to whatever I need to. I have it going over to my desk, computer desk on the other side of the room, and I can plug my computer stuff into that as I want to use it. And if I wanted to as well, I could run another extension cord from here or daisy chain off and run those over to my refrigerator and freezer. So when the power goes out, I usually want to run those as well. So this Giandel or whatever it is. So this is a Australian company. Make decently. So this is kind of the medium range, I guess, not the lowest end. I think this is like 350 or something like that for this inverter here. 2,000 watts and with a 4,000 watt surge, fairly decent. This is a pure sine wave inverter as well, so that's nice to have. Gets a little bit more cleaner power for sensitive electronics. Not super important for most things, but it is nice to have the pure sine wave, just as a little bit higher end device there. Has two fans on the top that come on when you put a significant load on it, or if it's been running for a while, they'll kick on for maybe a minute or two and cool the unit down, and then once it's down below its temperature, they'll shut off and wait for it to rise up beyond a certain point again. So it's pretty much quiet most of the time. If you're only pulling maybe 300 or 400 watts, you start pulling over 1,000 watts, the fans will kick on. It also has a remote control, so this is basically a telephone wire. It's got little RJ11 connectors on both ends, So you can mount, this is a little control surface. All this has is a light and a button on there, push button, that allows you to remotely turn it on. Because I wanted to mount it this way with the heat going up. So these are pulling fans, they're not pushing. I wanted the heat to rise the way it normally does. So all the lights and stuff like that on the bottom here, and it makes it very difficult to stick my head underneath there to find the on-off button. So it's nice to be able to make use of this extension here so I could see if it's on or off and easily turn it on and off up there. Okay, so that's why I have it mounted in that position. It's a little bit challenging to get those in there. I got to stick my head down there to really see where the outlets are, but other than that, it's beneficial to have it, you know, vertically mounted so that the heat will continually rise out of there and not need to use the fan so much. If I flipped it over, it wouldn't be as good of a system, or sideways. So anyway, I just have some plywood here that's been painted. I mounted everything too, just so you can keep stuff off the floor and keep stuff organized. See anything else that's interesting here? So this breakers here are, there's like a standard breaker mounting piece of metal. Just makes it easy to mount stuff. Alright, well, I hope you found that interesting. I know it was a little bit long video showing some of the details that maybe some others would just gloss over. But, you know, if this is a learning experience for you to see some of the issues or things to consider, you know, when you're actually putting stuff together. You know, I usually don't have a complete plan ahead of time of exactly how I'm going to do stuff. You know, this is like, usually everything I do is like for the first time and the only time, because I don't just do this, you know, repeatedly. I have hooked up the solar panels several times in different configurations, so I'm familiar with some of the banks and how the parallel and series works, but you know, putting these on the roof, you know, that's kind of a new idea. It's like, oh, okay, well, let's be inventive here. Let's find a new way to do something rather than just like, let's go buy a whole, you know, solar panel mounting kit and follow the instructions and put it together. Well, it's, you know, it didn't really cost me any money at all, you know, considering it was all scrap. I think I maybe spent, I don't know, yeah, $30 for the angle brackets, if that. I don't remember what they are exactly. They're probably $10 or $15 a piece. So, you know, and the screws I already had from another project. So a lot of the stuff is just stuff I have collected, and the roofing panels are stuff that, you know, was left over. So that was, you know, I did buy them initially, but they were became scrap because they were excess stuff I had cut off from actually installing the metal roof on the house. So anyway, nice to make use of that stuff. I've kept it for, oh, I don't know, let's see here, 12 years, something like that. So yeah, it's good to have like a scrap pile, you know, junk pile as it were, because you can always, you know, find stuff that you can reuse and make use of stuff like that. So it's important to, you know, not always have to go run to the store. And a lot of times, you know, how would I just go buy a, you know, 12-foot chunk of that, or, you know, 15-foot chunk? How am I even going to transport that easily home? It's, you know, not an easy job. So it would be expensive too, hundreds of dollars, if not, you know, $1,000 to put a system together, to mount stuff on. And people have done that. Spent all the money. I was like, I don't want to spend my money there. It's not important. If I can just build something, take a little extra time and build it myself, I think you know, it makes me smarter. It helps me to develop my skills. So and just be able to be resourceful. I think that's an important skill to have as well. So anyway, hope you found this interesting. I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye bye.